Hi. Firstly, I want to just talk about this one. Now, this particular kit has got a date on it, 1985. But, according to what one of the viewers told me, it's been reboxed a number of times and it could be a 1955 mold. So this, I think, which is also a Hawk model, which is identifiable by the insignia being engraved on the surfaces. I haven't really mentioned this one before. In some aspects, it's a very, very simple kit and hardly worth mentioning, and yet in other respects, it's better than the Airfix. So here's the Airfix. Here's this, I'm not sure what is the best thing to call it, a Hawk model, because I think testers must have taken it over. The nature of the rivet detail, aileron detail, surface detail, and everything like that is, not much of a difference between the two. The big difference with this model is it's got a one-piece wing, top and bottom surfaces. So there's no halves to build, you just get the wing. Compared to the Airfix, there's less curvature looking at the lower surface and even the upper surface. And it's also observable on the tail planes. The rudder is, the fin and rudder is very nice and thin, which I think is more scale. The horizontal stabs, I think, are possibly too thin, and the wing, questionable, not sure. I'd have to do some measurements to check. It might be the case that the Airfix one is slightly too thick, not sure. But all in all, this is actually not a bad kit, certainly not if it comes from 1955. It's got next to nothing on the inside. I think it had a pilot figure or two. The engine is molded into the cowling. And, where's my Airfix one? Airfix one is also molded into the cowling. I hope I haven't dropped that somewhere. The intakes are also molded onto this one. So really it's an exceptionally simple board. Very few parts, but still actually worth a mention. So I just thought I'd say that. Oh, by the way, and if this is 1955, it makes it older than my Wright Flyer. It might make it my oldest model that I think I have. So where Airfix was good is that they made the kit more kit-like in the sense that you have upper and lower surfaces of wings, a little bit more stuff to glue on, but they also got more inaccuracies. Now I think both have got enough inaccuracies that just looking at the undercarriage, the wheelbase, so this one's got next to nothing, and the undercarriage just slots on there. That one obviously has slightly better. If you have any of these, that's still not a bad little model. Although I can't even remember where I got them from. Highly unlikely to pick them up these days, I think. As far as the accuracy of the rivets, it looks very similar to Airfix. So, difficult to say which one is exactly more correct. The Airfix might be slightly more correct. And then I got this, which I'm going to discuss quickly. 148th, new Airfix Vampire. Now the very first thing to say about this, apart from the kit, is very, very nice decals. So, with the older kits, you're so used to having to deal with an old decal set. This has got 3 countries, Canada, Norway and UK. Very nice quality. So that sort of, you know, it does give you a little bit of a boost in wanting to get into the kit, because you've got such a nice finish waiting for you. They also give you the nice full color and large decal and paint schemes. The usual pretty large instruction set. So I've always liked the Vampire. I built a few of them in 1/72. This is very nice recessed panel lines. It's got pretty good strengthening for the tail booms. I'm hoping that Airfix got the shape really correct, and the dimensions and the thickness and everything. I've got another 1/48 kit, and I'll measure the two against each other and see what I think. No, that's not a bad collection of parts. It's almost too much for a 1/48 Vampire, but nicely done. So I'm sure this will make a very nice model. It has got a pilot figure, and just on a quick look, I'd say the pilot figure is okay, but certainly not as crisp as others we've seen. I'm not sure when I'll dive into this one. I think the first thing I'm going to be doing is doing a comparison of parts to the other one. I'd just like to know, do I have 2 accurate Vampires? Do I have one that's less accurate? And need a bit of verification. The canopy, very simple. It's just the 2 parts, but it does have the nav light covers. So that's quite nice. Okay. It's sort of a medium size 1/48. I mean, the Vampire isn't a big aircraft. I think I'd probably do this one in Canadian scheme, actually. Looks like a nice scheme. So that's a nice little kit. I wanted to mention that one of the guys commented on my videos, and he's got some very nice models on his channel. And the channel's name is Special Effects Modelworks. I'll put a link in the description of mine. Special Effects Modelworks. I think worth having a look at some of those nice models on that page. The last thing that I'm going to talk about in this video today is what I think is still one of the biggest problems, even sometimes on more modern kits, and I've probably touched on it talking about various other aspects, and that's wing fuselage joint. It is worth taping up the upper and lower surfaces, and it depends what the layout of the wing is, if it's, you know, upper and lower left, upper and lower right, or a single piece lower with an upper and an upper. Taping them together, looking at the layout of that lower piece, has it had a bit of warping and it's sitting too low, so that when you join it you're going to have apparent gaps, which are not actual gaps, because when you push it up to join onto the fuselage, it just needs that force to glue on. So ignoring warping, have you got problems with the pins misaligning and therefore causing the upper parts to be a bit far out, and you need to get rid of the pins to bring that in? If you brought the upper sections in to remove any fillet joint, fillet gap. Does that leave your tips needing a bit of a tweak? Do a bit of dry fitting. Check whether your fuselage needs a bit of adjustment. Check whether your upper surface is too low or too high, giving you that little bit of a step there, and hence, you know, is your entire wing the way they've provided it in the kit then a little bit too high on the fuselage, and it needs a little bit of plastic card to just bring it down a little bit so that you get that really nice fillet joint, not requiring any filler. You know, often it is worth that bit of extra analysis and test fitting early on to save you a heap of work later on. You know, I do like that analysis of basic structure. And it's not to say it always fixes things. There's often times where, tough luck, you are just going to have to do filling, and that's okay. But do that little bit of analysis. You know, sometimes even the fit on the bottom was not going in enough, therefore causing a good joint there but too low here, which means that you needed to thin out the lower surface of the wing because the plastic thickness is not letting it join onto the fuselage well enough. So that was just the thought for the day. Okay, remember to go and check out Special Effects Modelworks. Cheers.